Bonjour à tous, and welcome to this session. I'm again really happy that I can be a speaker at the Power Platform Friends Summit. This is my second session today. I already had one in the morning. Well, it's still in the morning, right? We are still before 12, and I really hope that we were seeing each other in person. That this event was taking place physically, but well. Still, we can benefit from sharing knowledge over Teams and meeting in this virtual world, and then having this kind of experience. So hopefully, well, I really hope that next year we will be able to meet. I know that the next event by AMS is also organized virtually in January, but maybe later next year we will have an opportunity to just gather. So thank you very much for these three communities, for BizApps, AMS, and Club Power BI. I know that I remember that last year you also organized a wonderful meeting together, and it was a really magnificent time in Paris that I spent. So without further ado, let me begin. Oh, one more thing. I also wanted to really thank, and we all should really thank to the sponsors. I know how hard it is to organize a meeting, even virtual meeting. I did 2 this year with my team. So it's always a lot of efforts, a lot of time and sacrifices to be done. And then thank you sponsors for not abandoning, for still supporting the communities. And so keep on doing that. And well, just the links to the community pages. All right. Now, this session is going to be about building the no-code chatbots for Microsoft Teams. Now, I will show you the new tool that has been, the new and old tool that has been added to Microsoft Teams and how it works, how you can use it, and how easy it is right now to create a chatbot. My name is Tomasz Poszytek. I'm coming from Warsaw in Poland. I'm business applications MVP. And well, just a short intro. I'm working with those technologies for a lot of years. Power Platform is something I'm working with for nearly or even over 4 years. And before then, I was working with other mainly workflow platforms like Nindex, a little bit with K2, with Webcon as well. And even before then, I discovered SharePoint Designer. It was even with SharePoint 2010. So I might say that with workflows on SharePoint and around Microsoft environment, I'm kind of an expert right now. So anyway, if you have any questions and if you'd like to connect with me on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, feel free to go to aka.ms/Poszytek. So right in here. And there you will find all the hyperlinks to those social media channels that I'm present at. I highly recommend the YouTube channel because this is the mean of sharing my knowledge that I'm really focusing on right now, as it is much easier to show the solution and how to build a solution than to really describe it even in the very, very long words. So that's a lot that I said about me and everything. So what is that? That's kind of a label that I don't know where it's coming from. When we close the windows. Do you know where it could be coming from? Okay, we need to live with that. I hope it is not going to really bother a lot of us. So anyway, what are the bots? Or maybe why are we afraid of bots? So basically, work with me. So basically, when companies are thinking about bots and about building the bots, let me just make a short break. I need to get rid of this label here. So I'll just stop sharing for a while, and I discover where this information is coming from, possibly from some other window of mine elsewhere. Okay, I managed to get rid of it. I don't know why it appeared. So I'm back right now. But it was somehow like bothering me and it was disturbing. So Yeah, anyway, so the companies are aware of bots and they do know the benefits from having a bot. So we've seen a lot of, we know a lot of, possibly you as well, a lot of web pages where instead of a simple contact page, we are now having this small chatbot that you can ask questions and it answers the most common questions. It even helps you to, for example, track your track the status of your order. But still, like the companies are somehow afraid of the bots. And now why? Well, first of all, the reason to do that is that they think that bots are really hard to maintain, expensive to build. That they do require a lot of expertise in their staff to actually maintain that bot and to create it. And that they somehow cannot be integrated with the backend. And well, that might be the truth in when speaking about the custom bots and the old approach, but today more and more companies are also offering their like out of the box or packaged bots that they can just simply deploy and configure and run. So the times that the chatbot was something really sophisticated and that was requiring a lot of artificial intelligence experts are away. And for this case, also Microsoft joined the party and Microsoft offers us customers their product that is called a Buffer2 Agent. And with Buffer2 Agent, what is the most important is that it offers you this way to, as possibly any other bot, but we are focusing on agents right here, that you can engage naturally. And by saying that, you can not only write your issues, your questions in your own words, so to use your natural language and the bot is going to understand it, but also you can conversate and create a bot in different languages. So we have like, I think 12 different languages from Chinese, Russian, to even Polish, French, English, German. The most common and even the hardest one are there present and the bot are able to conversate and understand what is most important and is able to understand what the user is typing in, what the user is actually requesting for. Also, thanks to the AI Builder and the whole AI platform that is on Azure, Microsoft is somehow democratizing this AI, and by that they mean that anyone actually without this sophisticated knowledge can benefit from using AI to enhance their bots and also processes with some artificial intelligence processing. Finally, because maybe not finally, but because the bots are not only built to show information, conversate, and possibly just call other systems, they're also gathering a lot of information about how they're performing, so you can still improve them. You can find bottlenecks, you can find the conversations that are less like satisfying for the users and change them. So you have these insights about how your bot is performing. And finally, thanks to Power Automate extendability, so you can just add Power Automate flows to the Buffer2 agents. You can extend this application with even more. And what has also been announced this week is that we can even write from the Buffer2 Agents designer trigger bot framework composer, so we can create even more with bot skills, so we can go even beyond, and it doesn't still require a lot of programmatic knowledge, so it's really awesome. However, the Buffer2 Agents, as we know today, is not something that is really new. So the first time we somehow had this contact with the tool was even in 2018 during Microsoft's Application Summit, and back then it was called the Virtual Agent for Customer Services. And then in 2018, yes, it was announced during the Ignite as, no, it was 2019, sorry, in 2019, this all happened in 2019. And then in 2019, it was announced as a new addition to the Power Platform, the Buffer2 Agent. So Satya had his keynote at Ignite, and he said, hey, we are having a new product that is joining the Power Platform family, the Buffer2 Agents. Now, what is also very important about the Buffer2 Agents is that this product is actually built on top of the whole Power Platform. So it can not only integrate and communicate with other Power Platform tools, but it can as well be extended using Power Automate. So to be able to actually use all these 400 plus connectors that we have as of today, is 420 as of today, that the Power2 agent as well can call, can send data, can get data back, and then extend these conversations with a lot of knowledge and data from these third-party and Microsoft services as well. Plus, it is built on top of Azure Bot Framework. So as said, you can extend your chatbots with bot skills. And as well, thanks to the fact it's built on the cognitive services from Azure, it is also using the NLP. It is using the cognitive, building the models to identify what the user is meaning. So it's also benefiting from the AI that is present in the Azure. So the main thing about the Power2 agent, as it was announced back during the Ignite, was that it gave the users, us, the power users, the citizen developers, a tool to actually visually design the bot. So not through the Visual Studio where you need to write a code or any other less easy to adopt approach, but no, we are just given the interface where you are able to simply click and select actions and then visually design this conversation flow. With a lot of integrations with the Power Automate, with the cognitive services, with the whole Azure. So plus, what is also important, or what is still also important, is that this bot also gave us this functionality to not only display contents and be able to conversate with the user and jump from one topic to another, but as well to gather information how it is performing. So how those conversations are going, as said, if there are any kind of like bottlenecks. So if users are abandoning specific topics at a specific time, and then maybe why. So this information you could then use to discover these topics that are performing better, those that are performing worse, and then simply try to optimize the conversations. Because also every time the conversation is coming to an end, user is being asked about their impression and satisfaction from this conversation. So with all this information, we are, as the designers, are able to actually monitor how our bot is performing. And today we also have this kind of integration between the Microsoft Teams and Power2 agents. And even before this kind of integration, this kind of tight integration was present, we were able actually to publish a bot to Microsoft Teams, right? So there was a channel called Microsoft Teams. We were able to simply create a bot and then publish it to Teams. However, before this kind of integration, to use the Power2 agents in Teams, we had to actually pay the license, buy the subscription for the Power2 agents. And thanks to this kind of integration, thanks to Microsoft Dataverse, that you possibly might know under the name of Project Oakdale, or some of you CDS Lite. So thanks to introduction of these CDS Lite, AKS Oakdale, AKS Dataverse to Microsoft Teams, we also have now the specific, let's say, edition of the Power Platform tools that are working inside of Microsoft Teams, that do have Microsoft Teams context, that do have their own database, that do have their own processes, and all these things are working internally in Microsoft Teams and Power2 agents as well. So today we actually have, sorry, the animation just gone away. Let me just play it once again because I really liked it. Damn it. So please don't bring me down this time. Okay, anyway, so today we have Microsoft Power2 agents within Microsoft Teams. We can actually build those chatbots within Microsoft Teams without actually leaving the interface of Teams. Everything is happening within the Teams interface. So what is actually the, let's say, the bot lifecycle in Teams? Well, first we need to pick a team to what we want to create and then where the bot is going to reside. Next, we need to author the conversations. Then we need to integrate the bot. I mean, that's optional. We don't actually have to integrate the bot with Power Automate. We can do it if you want to extend those basic conversations with some more information. Next, we need to publish the bot and then decide whether to publish it to Teams or to a specific channel, to a specific team, or to the whole Microsoft Teams, so to the whole organization. And lastly, if we are sharing to Microsoft Teams as a whole organization, we need to get admin's approval. And once we get this admin's approval, we can simply monitor how it performs, so still be able to see those statistics around the bot, about performance and operations. And that's actually it around the life cycle. So what I would like to do right now is to simply go to Microsoft Teams and show it to you, so how it works and how you can use it. Now, let me just jump to Microsoft Teams. So this is my Microsoft Teams. Right, so when you navigate to Microsoft Teams and then you click this ellipsis icon here in the left navigation, you should be able to either find the Buffer2 Agents already as one of the suggested apps, or if not, you need to simply type the virtual agent and it should pop up. Right, so one of the options that you should find is the Buffer2 Agents. If you don't see it, then possibly your Teams admin has disabled third-party apps and other apps to be added. So this is something that you need to reprocess with your Teams admin. But if you have a permissive organization and they allow you to simply use Power Platform, then hopefully you will also be able to use Buffer2 Agents in Teams. Then once you add it, it will be present here on in the left navigation. The good approach, the good idea maybe is to pin this application, because if you don't pin it and then you navigate to another area of Teams, it will simply disappear and you will have to go under this ellipsis and select it again. So if you are planning to use it frequently, pin it. Now, once you go to Buffer2 Agents, first thing that you will see is this landing page that is now loading with information that is guiding you to communities, to videos, to some introductory overview. But one of the most important things is that right from here, you can start this creating of your first bot, or you can go to Chatbots and then see what other chatbots are present that you can customize, for example. So here you will see all the teams that you are a member of. And in each team, you will see the chatbots that are created there that you are able to modify. So if you are a member of a team, you are actually able to modify a chatbot with that inside that team. So to work, to collaborate with other authors on that same chatbot. Now, once you decide in which team you want to create your chatbot, I need to make a small gap in here. So just to make a small add some more information. So each team, each team in Microsoft Teams, once the Dataverse is present in your environment, in your tenant actually, is going to create a separate environment in your Power Platform admin. So once I navigate to admin at Power Platform, and I'll just open as well admin at Teams, just to have it opened in another window. And then you navigate to environments, you'll notice that actually the more bots or the more solutions your company is creating using this Dataverse as a database, then the more Microsoft Teams type environments you're going to have. So this is used to separate contents, to separate the solutions that are being built one from each other, and also to, well, help you to work with the permissions, who should access or who can access which applications or which flows or which bots. Nevertheless, let me just go and create a new chatbot in the Contoso team. If you're the first person to create a chatbot or any other thing in that specific team, you will see like a message that you just need to wait a little bit longer than usually. And this is because this creation of a bot is connected with the provisioning of the environment and the dataverse for you. And this is happening in the background, so you just need to wait a little bit longer. Now, creation of the bot starts with from giving it a name. This name can be then changed. However, this name is also going to be used to display as a username of the bot. So once you start the conversation, you will see the bot's avatar along with that name. And then on the other hand, and on the other side, there will be you as a conversee, or the person who talks to the bot. What can it be? Maybe tell me a joke. I don't know any jokes in French, in English. I don't know either, but whatever. I'm not really good at creating dynamic bots. Anyway, then the bot is being, let's say, provisioned. So right now, all the information around this bot is being added to the Dataverse. Also, it's dedicated entities are being created. So we also need to wait just a second until the bot is provisioned, or maybe a minute. However, this GIF is really engaging, so you can watch it for long minutes and it's not really getting boring, at least for me. Then, as the bot is provisioned, you are navigated, or you are just moved to the screen that we actually know from the regular version of Buffer2 Agents. So when I was speaking about this regular version of Buffer2 Agents and that it is also able to integrate with Teams, but it costs, with this version of Buffer2 Agents, unless you are going to use some premium features, you can actually use it for free. So this is working under this so-called seeded license. So if you have E3 or E5, or if you're using business standard or premium licenses in your tenant, then you will also have an access to Buffer2 Agent. There are, however, some features that require premium, but as I said, if you don't plan to use them, or if you don't plan to use Power Automate, using premium actions, then you're really covered under those E3, E5 licenses. Right. The bot is built from a couple of, let's say, places. So the first are topics. Topics is something that is bot using to manage the conversation. So the topic is actually a single conversation. It tells the bot how should it, when should it start the conversation? So what are the trigger phrases? What is the conversation flow? So what question should it ask and what answers should it provide? And then if it should end up with a survey or maybe jump to another topic. So let me just show you how it works. I'll now create a new topic. Here in this topic, you must provide this internal name. The friendly name is going to be displayed. For example, if the bot needs to ask the person if that was on their mind. So if you type in something in the conversation with a bot and bot is unsure which topic it should choose, then it will display those friendly names as buttons with a question, hey, did you mean, for example, ask me this? Or if you meant, and then it will display the other friendly name as a button. Now there's a trigger phrases. Let me just use the point is that you need to provide like 5 to 10 trigger phrases. They should be quite different, and they're being used by the AI to create a model. And this model then is going to be used to calculate this confidence, like how much the question written by the user in the box is similar or fits in that train model. And then if it fits in that train model, then the bot will know, okay, I need to start this specific conversation, this specific topic with the user. But you can as well type in less than 5 and it will be fine for a short while. I mean, the more topics you will have, the better it is to have a different trigger phrases for each, not to overlap one and each other, because then the bot is going to be confused and it will actually display this question, hey, did you mean this or that? Let me just remove it. Now, as we start creating this conversation, we are doing this only by clicking. We are not really required to write any code and other things. We just need to click those plus buttons and it will allow you to add a note. And then as a note, you can either ask a question to a user or simply to display a message, which is just going to display a message without any action from the user. Or you can as well call an action, and then call an action is actually allowing you to trigger a Power Automate or to create a new one. So you can call one of the existing flows or to create a new flow. And as well, you can go to another topic or end up with a survey. So I will, for example, ask a question. And then when you are asking a question, you can either choose to grab the whole user's response, and then you can use this response as a variable for the conversation, or you can choose, for example, to use those multiple choice options, and this will simply generate branches that are splitting the conversation into, well, based on the user's answer. You can as well choose one of the existing entities, and then the entities are being used to extract a specific information from the user's response. So, for example, when speaking about the age and user responds with a full sentence and even write down their age, not in numbers, but in letters, so like 25, and they will write 25 instead of writing 25 in digits, then the bot is going to be able to extract the actual value from that response. Also, what is important is that in Teams, we have a pre-built, let's say, integration with the user context. So the bot is aware who the user is. And here under the global variables, we have two global variables. The first one is the user display name. So I can say hi, and it will display the user's name. And then the second one, the user ID, is actually the Azure ID of the user that I can, for example, use in Power Automate to get information about the user's manager or the user's picture or other user information. So maybe instead of, would you like to listen to a joke, I'll ask, know your manager. And again, this will be like yes and no. And for example, for no, it will say just, are you sure? But this time without any question. And what we can as well do is that we don't really have to build this conversation from top to bottom. We can as well make some connected logic. So I can grab this small dot here and navigate user back to the question. So it will be just like infinite loop. And then if this is yes, I will say to call an action, and I will simply call this Buffer2 Agents for template, because that's the one that actually, oh, you know what? Yeah, right. Because this one is displaying the manager of the user. And I'll just provide a bot user ID here. And I will save it and just show to you how this flow looks like, because it's quite easy. So basically, when you're creating a new flow, you can start from one of 3 templates. And these 3 templates are actually following the same pattern. So they're all having the Buffer2 agent action as a trigger and Buffer2 agent action as an output. So this way it can input the variables, and it can return outcomes from the flow run. And the flow actually is very simple. So it's trying to get the user's manager. However, for example, for the account that I'm now using, so the admin, the manager is not present because that's the CEO of the organization, and therefore this action is going to fail. So if it fails, it will simply say the manager is not set. If it wouldn't fail, it would display the manager's email and the display name. So that is how the flow is working. And then once this flow is triggered, let me just go to end of the conversation, or maybe this time again it will ask. That would be stupid to ask if you'd like to learn something more about your admin, about your manager. Okay, and I lost this connection, so I again need to connect this dot to the end. Maybe again. Right, it cannot be reached. Okay, so now I can save it and simply test this bot only for me, for myself only. So again, and by testing here, I also see how this conversation is proceeding. So you can see that those green actions are showing which nodes of the conversation have been executed. Now, if I say no, I will be going loop, so yes. And now if I said yes, I should see this information that the manager, sorry, I should also ask, well, of course, add here the message with the manager variable. Why is no one saying that I'm doing mistakes? All right, again. It has to reload, so it is now downloading the latest data. I still have 10 minutes. I can make it. Okay. So this way, it will simply get the information that, sorry, your manager is not set, right? So everything was executed correctly. Okay, so this way you can actually design the bot. Now, along with the topics that you are able to create or that are created by default as, let's say, some kind of an examples what you can do, you are also having a list of those system topics that are being used for certain purposes. So for example, if I say hi, then the bot will simply go into this greeting topic and will display the information. You can as well customize these topics, those system topics, so you can change how the bot greets user, how the bot is saying goodbye, what the bot should like do if there is a failure, if there is a success. So all these system topics are also possible to be customized by you. However, you cannot remove them or add new ones. They are just in there to handle all these standard situations, scenarios. Then under entities, as said, there are those functionalities that helps you to extract the value. So as said, if you use an entity to in a question of an age, and the user simply writes down the age in the full sentence, then still the bot is going to be able to extract the value as a number, and then you can use it for Power Automate or any other purposes. And then under analytics, you will find the information on how the bot is performing. I won't have anything here because this is just a new bot, so but everything is empty. There has been no information yet updated. So, well, this is how it looks. Everything is zeroed. However, you can then, if you do have a bot that is performing, you can go over those summaries, customer satisfaction, sessions, if there were any recorded. And then if you're using premium features, you can as well see which of the conversations with the sessions that have been done are actually premium and are billable. Now, once you're done with creation of the bot, the next thing you have to do is to publish the latest contents so that the bot is being packaged as a solution, as a thing that can be published. And then you can either open it for you, so you can converse with your bot in the chat window, or you can share it. By sharing, you can, again, choose if you want to share it for your team, so then anyone within your team is going to be able to use it, or for the whole tenant. Once it is submitted for approval, then the tenant admin needs to go into the team's apps, manage apps, and it will find, admin will find here an application that has been submitted and is waiting for approval. And lastly, once you go into under the manage, you have here the details. So here you can change the bot's name and icon. You can choose on to which channels you want to publish it. So by default and for free, you have it for Microsoft Teams, and all the other channels are marked as premium. So for those, you need to have a license. Plus, you can as well work with the security. So you can define who has an access to that bot. By default, everyone in team, but you can decide who like exclusively. And also you can change the authentication mean. So you can turn off the authentication, so these two global variables won't be present, or you can leave with this only for Teams, or you can change for manual authentication with Azure ID. So you need to create an application in Azure ID and then provide all these details to configure it. But by having this kind of authentication, you are also getting the so-called bearer token of the user, which you can then later use to call Graph API, for example, on behalf of that user. Right, and lastly, there are skills. This is also premium, but this allows you to actually extend your bot even further with Azure Bot Skills. That's a whole different topic. Right, if I still gonna have time, I maybe switch back to the bot again to see, to check the working solution. However, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the roadmap and what we can expect in the nearest future, and about the pricing, which is also very important. So today we are still in the 2020 Wave 2, the release Wave 2 plan. And what is going to be introduced are those theming as well, the list variables, the video support in conversations. The adaptive cards, maybe yes, but they were somehow postponed until the end of the Wave 2 release plan, or even they were moved to the Wave 1 2021. However, almost anything that was planned for this Wave 2 release plan was introduced, and some other functionalities that Microsoft was planning were, let's say, disturbed by the whole COVID situation and were postponed. However, the plan is quite ambitious and they are doing well. And then speaking about the licensing, when not using any premium features, as said, everything is covered under the seeded license from E3 or E5. If, however, you will plan to use the full version of Buffer2 Agents, the standalone version, or if you would like to use the Buffer2 Agents for Teams and to use premium features, then you'll need to purchase the Buffer2 Agents license. And this is the license is per user, so like you are granting this license to a specific user, or sorry, specific bot. And then this license is being consumed on the tenant level. So anyone, whenever this bot is being used, is being consumed from that license. So you have to pay $1,000 per month per 2,000 sessions. Now, a session, as you can read below, is the full conversation from the beginning to the end. So when the bot is asking about the evaluation, the user evaluates the conversation and the conversation ends. So this is a billable session. Or if this conversation lasts longer than 60 minutes, so if we are talking to the bot over 60 minutes, then this is also a billable session. Or if this conversation exceeds 100 turns. So a turn is that the bot asks me a question, I respond. That was one turn. And then the bot, again, is displaying something, I answer. So all this exchange of information is calculated as a turn. And if the conversation exceeds, then it's again a billable session. If you want to try, simply go into the aka.ms/trypva. And this way you can start your 60 days trial with Buffer2 Agents and simply try this solution, see how it works, and start you to onboard. Or if you go to Microsoft Teams and add Buffer2 Agents application, you will just be able to start for free. So thank you very much for this session. If you have any questions, it's the right moment to ask them, even though I'm done, right? I'm over the time already. Chloe? Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, there is, thank you, Tomasz. There is one question from Tataru. If you want to see the question in the conversation.
Well, I actually don't see it, so if you could read it, please.
Yeah, of course, of course. Regarding the roadmap, is the multi-language will be supported by the bot? Today, if I want a bot in French and English, I have to build from scratch 2 bots instead of one who will manage inside several languages.
So there is actually nothing planned in regards of having like bilingual bots. That's correct. So you have to choose a language at the beginning of creation of the bot, and that's either French or English. This language is used actually to understand basically those trigger phrases. So if this is not a very complex bot, you can actually have topics in French and in English, and they can be possibly triggered with some high confidence, even, for example, if the bot is for English language. And then you can have like a topic that is asking a user which language you would like to choose, and then it's navigating to a specific, to the conversation in that specific language. However, that is correct. You just simply cannot switch the language in the bot. You can do something other. So you can ask a user in the beginning, in the greeting, for example, what language they would like to choose, and then navigate a user to a different page where the bot in different languages embed, or you can reload the JavaScript that is displaying the bot, like reload the page with a different variable. It's doable. However, it requires a little bit of efforts to accomplish this and to make it look like seamless. Okay, so if there are any questions, I'm going to be in attendant in Teams through the whole day. So simply ask them, for example, in the Ask the Experts area. I created a topic, a conversation, so you can simply hop in and ask your questions. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to connect, scan the QR code and just let's connect.
Thank you. There is another question from Christoph. Yeah. He asked, can we use a common KB for several bots distributed in several tenants? The concept is to create a bot to be shared among several clients using all the same KB.
So basically, you can export and import bots using solutions. But bots are working, well, they're tenant exclusive. So you can't have like one instance of a bot working on several tenants, but you can add a bot to a solution and then export that solution and then import this solution in another tenant. So basically, where the bots are stored and everything from Microsoft Teams is stored is once you navigate to flow-microsoft.com, and then in the environment selector, you will see all those environments that were created as well as Microsoft Teams environments. So if you want to export the bot, you simply need to navigate like Contoso default. And under solutions, you'll find a solution is called the default one, or the default solution. Oh, it's one of the largest one because it really contains everything. And so here by default, you will find, for example, the bot, where is the bot? Chatbot. So you should find here your chatbots. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. You can have here all the flows. Oh, because I didn't, oh, sorry, I was in the right. So, okay, my bad. I was in the right, so I was in the right environment. I switched the wrong one. So back to the conversation. once you go into the default solution, you will find here actually all these Dataverse tools, things that have been created, as well as the chatbots. So you can actually create a new solution and then add those particular elements that you want to export, like chatbot topics and things, export it and import into the different environment, then add to a default solution that imported chatbot, and you should be able actually to use it in that new environment in Microsoft Teams in the specific channel, in the specific team. So that's the approach that Microsoft says is possible. I haven't tried it myself, but they say it's possible. Hopefully this answers your question.